All right. All right, class. So right now we're gonna start, like I said, with our day, we start at CNN 10. Okay? So we're gonna watch the video, then we're gonna discuss how to reflect and what this video means, okay?
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Vice President,
Distinguished members of the United States Congress,
members of the Supreme Court,
Distinguished guests,
my fellow Americans, I can report to you
the State of the Union is stronger than ever before. Think for a minute how far we've come in 200 years.
we find ourselves challenged by new problems
In this country
at home,
and abroad, our values are renewed.
there is demanded of us vigilance,
determination and dedication. We must rise to make a nation better than any we have ever known. For the road has been long, the burden heavy, and the pace urgent.
This is not going to be easy.
We have
Only begun
Let us have the will and the patience.
to do
this job together.
We need many different kinds of strength,
Military,
economic, political, and moral. Nothing is impossible. No victory is beyond our reach. No glory will ever be too great. We are
Americans,
part of
something
larger than ourselves.
God bless you.
You and God bless the United States
of America.
And some of the themes you heard in that montage will likely be discussed tonight when U.S. President Joe Biden gives his first official State of the Union address. He gave this kind of speech last year in April, appearing in front of a joint session of Congress. But it wasn't technically called the State of the Union because it was his first such address after his election. And traditionally, presidents aren't yet considered authorities on the State of the Union after just a couple months in office. The U.S. Constitution does not say when a president has to give this speech, or even that a president should give a speech. Article 2, Section 3 only says, quote, "He shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the State of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient." So the fact that a speech like this is given every year, the fact that it's done in person, the fact that it's televised and put online, the fact that it's followed up by a response from the opposing political party, all of these are traditions associated with the State of the Union, but they're not required by the Constitution itself. Still, the event is an extraordinary opportunity for the president and the party in opposition to lay out their visions for the country. President Biden's speech on March 1st will be the first one held in March since 1934. All the others have taken place in January or February. There's a lot going on in the U.S. and abroad that'll factor into tonight's speeches. The Russian invasion of Ukraine, the president's Supreme Court nominee, the problem of inflation, the upcoming U.S. midterm elections, issues related to COVID-19. You can expect all of this and more when President Biden enters the House of Representatives at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern and when Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds gives the Republican Party's response afterward. 10-second trivia. What is the currency of Russia? Euro, real, ruble, or dinar?
Dinar is
The ruble is the official
euro,
currency of Russia and
dinar
Belarus.
is Middle East.
Yeah, I was about to say,
The Russian ruble has
I was
crashed
supposed to say
during the
that.
country's invasion of neighboring Ukraine. By that we mean it lost 25% of its value on Monday, and the Russian stock market was closed on Monday and Tuesday. We've reported how the U.S. is one of numerous countries imposing sanctions on Russia. It's an effort to hurt the nation's economy and pressure it to withdraw from Ukraine. Critics had said the sanctions were too little too late, and President Biden acknowledged last week, quote, "No one expected the sanctions to prevent anything from happening," suggesting it'd take time after Russia's invasion for sanctions to take effect. But economic analysts say they're starting to bite now. For years, Russia's government's been preparing for something like this, saving up international currencies and gold. But some of those assets are in other countries which aren't giving Russia access to them. This is part of an interruption in the flow of money to Russia, hurting its ability to do business. And one example of how that happens is through SWIFT.
It's like the pipework of international banking. Founded in 1973 to replace the dated telex transfer system, SWIFT handles the majority of international money transfers and settlement of trades. It's short for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications and now connects over 11,000 financial institutions. Removing Russia from SWIFT would make it extremely difficult for financial institutions to send money in or out of the country, delivering a sudden shock to Russian companies and their foreign customers. Kicking Russia out of SWIFT was considered in 2014 in response to the annexation of Crimea. At the time, former Russian Finance Minister Alexei Kudrin estimated that the expulsion could shrink the country's economy by 5%. And it's not just Russia that would be affected. There's no globally accepted alternative to SWIFT, so Russia's expulsion could potentially hit everyone who has international business dealings with the country. After Russia, Germany and the US might have the most to lose. The Carnegie Moscow Center says German and American institutions are the most frequent users of SWIFT to communicate with Russian banks.
Next today, the world's plastic pollution problem is not a new subject for us. Waste is growing in landfills and oceans worldwide. What's also growing, though, are the number of proposed solutions. We couldn't find exact costs for the disposable plates and bowls you're about to see. Similar products run about 50 to 80 cents per plate, while plastic foam plates cost around 3 cents a piece. But the newer technology comes at a lower cost for the environment.
In the South Indian city of Hyderabad, employees at Bolant Industries are making disposable products like colorful plates and sheets of cardboard. Their materials, fallen leaves from areca, a palm species, and recycled paper.
I call myself a waste person because I really love waste. I want to recycle all the waste that I could in this world and be a hero and be a symbol of the next generation.
Shrikant Bola is part of a small but growing field of Indian entrepreneurs hoping to prove that companies can help the environment and turn a profit. His country is one of the world's top polluters. India produces more than 15 million tons of plastic waste every year, according to the UN. This summer, India is slated to ban most single-use plastics, which experts say will dramatically drive up demand for eco-friendly products, as well as packaging in the country. Bolant Industries is also notable for the leader at its helm. Bola was born blind to poor and illiterate parents in a village in Andhra Pradesh.
Growing up in India as a child, I had to overcome a lot of stigma, barriers, and unacceptability in the society as I was blind from birth. My childhood was a very lonely, not that I was poor, because I was made separated by the world.
He founded his company in 2012 with an aim to employ as many people with disabilities as possible. Like Kavala Krishnaya, whose legs are not fully formed due to polio. His job is to make disposable plates and bowls at Bolant's manufacturing unit.
Our core vision is to employ as many people as possible who are at the margins of the society. We want to empower this big stream of people who are in many millions.
The company currently employs around 400 people, a quarter of whom have disabilities, Bola says. The MIT graduate says his products are currently sold to around 200 small and medium enterprises across India, such as restaurants.
Sight is just for the eye and not for the vision of the mind. So if you have vision, sight cannot do anything. If you have strong passion, willpower, and confidence in your mind and soul, I'm sure your physical disability can never stop you from achieving success.
Miles Harris is a news reporter in Ohio, and his mom, Sandy, is super proud of him. As Miles was setting up for an on-camera segment about a crime story, guess who stopped by?
This is my mom, hold on.
The person you hear laughing is his photographer, D'Angelo Bird. He didn't just record it, he put it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now Miles and his mom are both famous.
And that's just like a prime example of, one, a mom being a mom, but just trying to get that front row seat to kind of see what I'm doing.
I once heard the pun, if it's not one thing, it's your mother. And some do tend to offspring into action, embarrassing their kids whenever they can. In family matters, there are always growing pains. Miles might have been thinking, give me a break. But it takes different strokes to keep family ties regardless of whether there's a full house. I'm Carl Azus. Rancho High School in North Las Vegas, Nevada gets today's shout out. Thank you for your request on our YouTube channel, and
Okay, all right. Before we get into your task, I want you guys to, it's okay. So we want to kind of talk about, reflect a little bit. How do you guys, raise your hand, how do you guys kind of think about this video today? What do you think, Lena? Huh? What do you take from it? Huh? You said what again?
Quiet, give us good information.
Yes, get us good information what's going on in the world. Okay. Hunter, what do you kind of think about one of the segments?
That it tells us about what's happening to Ukraine and Russia.
Okay, you get the information about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. What about that last video segment about the guy with his blind, Jason? What do you kind of get from that?
To teach people with disabilities that you can do anything.
Yep, so people with disabilities, I mean, you can do anything, right? What about the last one, Gideon? Have you ever had a situation where your mom kind of like embarrassed, not embarrassed, or like come to support, or, you know, you had that happen to you?
No, because I want my mom to leave me alone.
Oh, you think mom leave you alone? Anybody else? I have, for me, my mom have, so I give you a quick little story, then we get in our task. When I was basketball and I played sports, my mother was always the loudest one in the crowd, right? I score a bucket or I catch a touchdown, do a pass, she's like, that's my baby, that's my. And I was like, oh, they be looking around like, oh, who mom is that? I'm like, that's my mom, that's my mom. So yes, a mother's love and family love and support is always good, man, especially when you guys playing sports or doing anything outside of that, it kind of flex. So next part we jumping into, so go ahead, get your energy task up. Okay, submit. I got you. Go ahead, do your energy task. Okay, go ahead. How's your day?
I'm a superhero.
What class do I struggle with? Send it.
Yeah.
Send it to me. What does it say?
Which one? It says, do you believe in climate change?
That was the easiest one to read.
Huh?
What is that?
Like different weather, like the weather change.
This is what I finished it.
Huh? Good job.
Now we wait.
Where's that one? Yeah, there's a new Wi-Fi. I got a new Wi-Fi. No, it's Wi-Fi. It says
Marley, I'm going to have to ask you to put your mask over there. This is nothing.
oh wow.
Yes. It says, do you want to own a business or work for someone? Just pick one. Okay. John, you got that. You got that. Okay, you issue task, go ahead and close your Chromebook.
No, Miss Wood, can we have free time now? What? We did an extra cap.
Oh, we gotta go on to the next thing. Okay, we're waiting on one more to complete.
Miss
After you
Marley.
complete it,
I did.
okay? Your name should pop up. Chris, are you done? Go ahead and finish, Chris, please.
I'm done.
Grab out a pencil, something to write with.
I need a pencil.
Hey, yo, way too fast.
Anybody else need something to write with? Here we go.
Can I start reading?
Not yet.
Ah.
Okay, Chris, go ahead and finish reading.
Youth reward.
Okay. So, gonna read this story real quick. Mark, close your Chromebook. Okay. Okay, all right, make sure you put your names on it. Okay, so,
I don't think
I got a pencil?
I thought you said you would never do this again.
I know, one more, there's something a little bit different. Okay,
What?
so, okay, so today's story is about community service.
Put your mask over.
Okay? As you guys move forward, okay? As you guys move forward in high school the next few years, you guys, in order to graduate, you would need some type of community service hours. So, to better understand, right? Community service is always good, man. You guys get to see what's out there, help those in need. Always feels good to give back to those people who are in need, right? So like during holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, or doing a kindness gesture, cleaning up your neighborhood and communities. It's always good having a community service. Yes, Marvin?
I thought we weren't gonna do that.
I know, but it's okay. So, all right, so we're gonna read these, answer these questions. I'm gonna go ahead and read, or Ms. Singleton, would you love to read for us?
Sure.
Okay, listen up.
Okay, so this is called Fiction Comprehension Community Service.
Oh, jeez.
Please be quiet.
Whoa.
But Mom, I don't want to spend my entire weekend cleaning up other people's trash. Lorna stomped her feet as Mom slid the van door open. Her parents had signed their entire family up for a weekend community service project at a local park. Make sure you're following along, please.
Yes.
For years, the park was abandoned and nobody had taken care of it. All that Lorna could think about was how ridiculous it was that she had to be the one to clean it up when she wasn't the one who made the mess. Nevertheless, she couldn't convince her mom that she needed to stay home. Pulling up to the park, Lorna crossed her arms and groaned. She stashed her iPod under the seat and stepped into the sunshine. Well, at least it's a nice day, she grumbled. They spent the entire day bagging trash, everything from old McDonald's wrappers to half-empty bottles of soda. When the sun began to set, the family headed back to the hotel to rest up. At dinner, Mom asked what Lorna's favorite part of the day was. Leaving that dump, was her only response. The next day, the group pulled weeds and began planting new trees and flowers. Lorna preferred this over picking up trash, but it still wasn't her favorite thing to do. By the next week, Lorna had forgotten all about her weekend, and she had moved on to playing with her new app. 3 months later, Mom told Lorna she had a surprise for her. The family pulled up to the same park and they had been at weeks before. This time, though, there were children playing in the grass, flowers blooming under leafy trees, and squirrels running around. Wow, thought Lorna. Maybe it wasn't so bad after all. She turned to her mom and asked if there was another project they could help with.
All right, okay. So, question number one, everybody get ready. I'm gonna read it out, the question, and you guys can, I'll pick up someone who wanna answer it, and we all can write it out. So the question is, explain how Lorna changed how Lorna changes throughout the story. How did she change throughout the story, Lena? Or we go, Hunter. How did she change?
Because she thought at first that it was all gross and boring because you have to pick up other people's trash.
Okay.
And then towards the beginning of the story, she thought that maybe it wasn't so bad because it's good for the environment.
Okay, so She thought, so you guys should write down a response. She thought it was boring. Or she thought it was boring. And then towards the end, she thought it was boring. And towards the end, set it up. She thought it was boring. Write it up. And towards the end, okay, she thought she knew that it'll help her environment. Okay. All right. Second one. Okay. Use. It's okay. Come on. I'll give you some time. Go ahead. So. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. We're recording. Okay. Just said she thought it was a waste. A-S-T-E of time. Of time. Of O-F.
Who's team you want to be on?
Time. And now she wants to. She wants W-A-N-T.
Definitely play football. I'm the one.
Yes.
I'm a good runner.
To help.
I'm a better runner.
Help.
No, I'm faster than
E-L-P.
you.
I run faster than you.
E-L-P. Her.
I just get tired.
Her. H-E-R.
So do I.
Are we on number
But I
2?
still lose.
Yes, community.
What's the team?
C-O-M-M.
Oh, do we start?
U-N-U-N-I.
An adjective
T-Y.
describes.
Okay, so number 2, an adjective. I have this on the board. An adjective, right? It's like funny, little, green, swish, American, Italian, enough. Okay, so it's a word or phrase that describes a noun or a pronoun. Usually comes right before a noun or pronouns. It tells what kind or how many or which one. So give me 3 adjectives in this. Somebody tell me one. Yes.
The grass was green.
Green to give it color. What else?
Dump.
And grab something. It's so if the grass is green, you put that green. Yes.
Dump.
Huh?
The dump.
Dump. Yep. Put that down. You guys write it down. Give me 3 words.
I thought it was supposed to describe.
Yes, you can describe her. So describe her. What do you think you can describe her as what? If you can describe her, you can describe, right?
On number 2.
Yes, for number 2.
What's you? Wait.
Helpful. She could be helpful. Right?
Outside playing football.
Picking.
You're gonna get you're gonna get yeet for the shit.
Okay, guys, remember, record. Okay? Yes. Just give me one. We'll just do one instead of 3. Just give me one. Okay? Last one. Last one.
Just put green.
Just put green. Just put green. It's okay. We only want to do one more, Chris. Chris, it's okay.
I'm Carson.
Carson. Oh, yes. We're only gonna do one.
You should
All right.
be recording
I know.
this if you're gonna.
I always call it that. Huh? F.
You said
U-L.
Chris 3 times.
I know.
It didn't.
I always do it. I know. Last one. Number 3. We're only gonna do 3. We're only gonna do 3. Last one. How does Lorna shows how much she disliked their family plans? Yes.
Because I forgot where it was, but she
How does?
said that at least it was a nice day and that she grumbled.
Huh?
She said that at least it was a nice day and that she grumbled. So when she wasn't read that, I already knew that she didn't want to be there.
Okay, so how does, so she was, you can put upset. You can put upset. Good job, Gideon. Upset for number 3. U-P-S-E-T.
Hold on one
Alright,
minute.
I'll collect those. Can you pass everybody out the board?
That's what we should be done now. Wait, are we using
No, no reason. We don't have enough time.
You said 5 minutes.
We don't have to do, I know we'll have enough time. We gotta get to our map review before you guys go. Here,
Yes.
name.
I'm gonna get my
Give me,
screen
can you
time.
pass everybody, a racer, please? Can you pass everybody a racer?
Yeah.
Or calculator, everybody calculator.
Exactly.
Yes, it is. Thank you. It's okay. Lynn, can you pass everybody? No, just pass them out, give it. Mark, I got it. Lynn got it.
Why are you throwing it at?
Oliver. Thank you.
Johnny, here's the test. This is literally 9 more minutes.
Okay,
Johnny!
it's 10.
I gave it to him. Owie!
Okay. It's okay. Deep breath. Okay.
Pick it up and
Where
give it
is
to
it?
him. I do not know, but we don't, Mr.
What?
Ward
No,
gave
I
him a
want-
job.
He has it.
No, he's going on the floor.
Thank you, we don't.
No, purple's in
We
there.
have to-
Purple.
Okay,
This one's not giving me
give her purple. Give her purple. Give her purple. There you go. It's okay. Come on. I know. All right. Okay, thanks, Gideon. Everybody. All right. Okay. I want you to write out, so today's gonna be about ratios, math test, transition. So I want you to write out a ratio for this. Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. I want you to write out a ratio for,
Oh, ratios?
Yeah.
Write that down, people.
ratios from squares to circles. Write from squares first, from squares to circles. Write down my ratio. Okay, on your board. From squares to circles. You don't gotta draw the picture, just write out the number. Write out the number. Write out the number. How many squares you see?
5. Next.
Yep.
5, 3.
Yep. How would you write that out in the colon?
5 over.
Yep. How would you now write it out in the colon?
Oh.
Colon into 2 dots. Write it out in the colon. No. Write the number out first. Let me ready to see. Yeah.
That is where I erased it.
Okay. Let me see your colons. Raise it up. Board it up. Let me see. Colon. Good job.
Wait.
Okay. Okay. Ready? So if I have these numbers, moving on.
Erase this, erase that. Please stop me.
Miley, stop.
I can't see.
Okay. If I need to find this missing number,
It's 7.
no. Find that missing number. What is my top number? What are we counting by? Yes, Gideon.
10, 20, 30, 40.
So what is the missing number? I'm trying to find this number here. How did you
The
get
missing
20?
number is 20. You're
How do you-
counting by tens.
How's that counted by tens? Okay. Or
You go 10.
Or, yep, you're good.
Or you can multiply 4 by 5.
Times 5. So what is all of these times?
5.
Times 5. Correct. Good job.
better right.
So the answer is 20. Okay. All right. What are your board?
I didn't even do anything.
Good job.
Yeah, it's like really simple. You don't have to think.
Okay. So
Is that all?
nope, it's not on. Grab his computer real quick.
Oh, you don't know. We got 4 minutes left.
I know how much time. We got 2 more.
Oh.
So find what's So if we have 18 and 3, okay, you have to figure out who have the same, this is that's what we're gonna do, same unit rate or different. Okay, so in your calculators, you guys can put what?
18 divided by 3.
18 divided by 3, which is what? Huh? 6.
6.
Okay? So, let's see which ones are the same. We'll write these numbers out. You think they're the same or different? 25, 5.
False. That's different.
Do not scream it out.
Okay, let's have it done.
Problem is.
You can have it just like he's got it.
You don't gotta write it out. You just put which ones are the same.
I already
the
know the
answer.
answer.
Okay?
Okay, which one? Yeah, put which one. So in your calculators, you put what? 20 divided by 5 is
No,
what?
I'm done yet. Done.
Okay, which ones are, yeah, good job. Not wrong, man.
I got many.
So put in your calculator, what's 20 divided by 5? Put your calculator. Huh?
Fine.
So is it same or different?
It's him.
Same as this? Is it same as 6?
No.
So it's different? So the first one, 25 divided by 5 is different. Okay? Who got the next one? 20 divided by 3. Is that same or different?
It's
Lena, it's the same or different? Huh?
Same.
Same? So 20 divided by 3? So it's different? Okay? What about 48 divided by 8?
Same.
Huh?
Same.
Same? And what about 12 divided by 3? Yes.
Two.
Sure? 12 divided by 2 is what?
6.
Is that same or different?
Same.
Okay. All right, go ahead and clean your boards. Go ahead and start packing up.
Send it right now. Send you what? Send you what, Hunter?